Thanks for your patience, folks. We are getting set up with our YouTube stream. It'll be just another minute before we get started. Okay, folks, we're ready to go. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Tina Arthur, and I'm the Director of Orientation Services for the University of Iowa. Tonight, I'm going to share information with you about what to expect and how to prepare for your orientation programs this summer, including reserving your dates for the programs. I will review all the content and leave some time for questions at the end. So if you have a question, feel free to put it in the Q&A section. I do have lots of help in the background tonight from Jill Trum, the Associate Director of Orientation Services, as well as admission staff that can help answer your questions during the presentation. The orientation reservation system will open on Monday, March 10th at 9 a.m. But before you can select your dates, there are some steps you need to take to be eligible to select those dates. And the first is to accept admission. You can do this by logging into your admissions profile on MyUI with your Hawk ID and password, and you will accept admission by paying the $325 acceptance fee. This fee is refundable until May 1st, 2025. So even if you haven't completely made your decision and chosen Iowa as your school, you can still have a few more months to really finalize that decision. Number two, you need to answer the health insurance question on the admissions profile. And I'm going to talk about what that means and what that looks like here in just a moment. And then finally, you need to double check that your major is listed correctly on the admissions profile. This is going to ensure that you see the appropriate dates available for your college and major. If it's not correct on your admissions profile, there's a link right there in the profile where you can send an email to change your major, and you're going to want to get that done before Monday. So the health insurance question is what unlocks the links for the orientation program's reservation system. This question is just a yes/no question and does not require you to show any documentation about health insurance. Once you've answered the question, return back to that admissions profile home screen and scroll down to the orientation/registration box. There will be a link in the box that will take you into the reservation system. Orientation is a two-part process. And once you're in the reservation system, you will select dates for both programs. The first you're going to select is a week in June or July for the Student Online Advising and Registration, or SOAR program. Students do not need to be available for the whole week that you select. You're just selecting the week to give yourself flexibility later in choosing a date and time for your SOAR appointment with your academic advisor. This appointment is when you'll meet one-on-one via Zoom with your advisor and register for classes, and that appointment will take about 30 to 45 minutes. There will be pre-advising modules and placement tests that you will complete prior to your SOAR program to prepare you for that meeting. The second date that you'll choose is the Becoming a Hawkeye program, which is a one-day on-campus program that will prepare students and families for the transition to the University of Iowa. We will have opportunities to hear from important campus offices, interact with resources, and meet other new students and families. There are 14 programs to choose from in June and July. And in general, we encourage you to attend the Becoming a Hawkeye program after your SOAR program date. However, if that doesn't work in your schedule, you are free to select a Becoming a Hawkeye program date prior to your SOAR program. So I want to give you an example of what this looks like because I'm a visual person. So I like to think about this and I don't want to be too confusing about the SOAR week. So to give you an idea of what the timeline looks like for SOAR, we've provided an example here. There is work you need to do leading up to your SOAR program. So it's important to know what you need to do leading up to that week that you select. The SOAR page modules need to be completed at least 1 week prior to your SOAR program so that you can schedule your SOAR appointment week prior to your SOAR program. So you can schedule your SOAR appointment the week prior to your SOAR program. So for example, if you pick June 23rd through the 27th, your SOAR page needs to be done a week in advance. So by June 15th, and that includes your placement tests. And then starting on June 16th, you would be able to schedule your SOAR appointment for the week of June 23rd through the June 27th. And that's where you'll have some flexibility. The SOAR page will open on April 28th. Opens on Monday, April 28th. And it is personalized by your college and major. And that's why it's so important for you to have your major correct in the admissions profile. It's going to have information about required placement exams as well as links out to those placement exams. And this is content curated by your college, by academic advisors. So it really helps you understand how to use the course scheduling system to go in and choose courses. And it will also link out to any required placement tests. All of that is found in the SOAR page, and you can access that beginning on Monday, April 28th. Students can track their progress in the SOAR page by viewing tasks that are complete or incomplete. So once a student has completed a component of the SOAR page, they will see the green complete indicator. Students would click the box at the bottom of their content once they've thoroughly reviewed that in each section. The page will track their progress. So if you leave and come back, it'll keep that complete. You don't need to do it all in one sitting. If a student has not completed a section, they will see the red incomplete listed at the top right of the box. The SOAR page is your guide to completing everything and being ready for your SOAR appointment during your SOAR week. The SOAR page, again, opens on Monday, April 28th for students to begin working on their pre-advising modules and their placement tests. The SOAR page will take 2 to 3 hours to complete with placement tests. The SOAR page deadline is 1 week prior to your SOAR program. And if you've completed the SOAR page by the deadline, you will receive a link to schedule your SOAR appointment about 7 days out from your SOAR program. The SOAR appointment lasts 30 to 45 minutes and is a one-on-one meeting with your academic advisor in Zoom. So just a quick recap of the SOAR process. You'll select a week for your SOAR program, but you only need to be available for the SOAR appointment that week. Beginning Monday, April 28th, you can start working on the SOAR page, including taking necessary placement tests. If you complete all of your SOAR page by the deadline, you'll receive the link to schedule your SOAR appointment during your SOAR program, and that happens about 7 days prior to your SOAR program. And then finally, you'll use a computer to attend your SOAR appointment with your academic advisor and register for classes from the comfort of your own home. Next, I want to tell you a little bit about the Becoming a Hawkeye program. This is a one-day program on campus in June or July, and you'll hear from important campus partners about what to expect during move-in, understanding your university bill, and you'll have the opportunity to explore resources and meet other new Hawkeyes. Students cannot meet with their advisor or register for classes during the Becoming a Hawkeye programs because that process is all online through the SOAR program, which we just covered. The Becoming a Hawkeye program is a really exciting day on campus, and you'll spend some of it together as parents and students. And then students break into small groups with their orientation leaders and spend time preparing for their first weeks on campus. Parents and families, we really want you to attend this with your students because we have special sessions just for you to learn more about how to help and support your student as they're transitioning to the University of Iowa. Lunch is provided for all of you to attend that day, and the program runs from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We also run a webinar series throughout the summer, and we call this Topic Tuesday and host our webinars on Tuesdays. This is an opportunity for students and families to dive deeper into resources or topics, or if you're unable to join us at the Becoming a Hawkeye programs, you can still learn about these processes and offices and resources throughout our webinar series. You will receive more information and registration links to the Topic Tuesday webinar series in your email. So just a recap of some important orientation dates. Beginning Monday, March 10th, you can make your reservations for the orientation programs through your admissions profile. You'll select a week for the SOAR program and a day for the Becoming a Hawkeye program at the same time. On Monday, April 28th, the SOAR page opens in MyUI, and this is also how you connect to take your placement exams. Again, all of that will be through the SOAR page, and so if you have any questions about which placement test you need to take, it will display for you in the SOAR page. All of that should be completed at least 1 week prior to your SOAR program. And then finally in June and July is when you'll attend your SOAR program and your Becoming a Hawkeye program on your selected dates. If you aren't already following orientation services on social media, I do want to encourage you to do that. We share a lot of important information and updates via our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and you'll find all of our webinar series on YouTube. Again, thanks for your patience tonight as we navigated some technical difficulties. I so appreciate you being here. For more information about any of the programs I discussed tonight, please visit our website, which is newstudents.uiowa.edu. And we'll take some questions live tonight, as well as continue answering questions in the Q&A. Thanks so much for joining us on Iowa and Go Hawks. So our first question is, when will the Topic Tuesday webinar series start? That starts towards the end of May. And we'll go through July on those Topic Tuesday webinars. And we have topics that we engage with each week with multiple offices. And so you'll get a full rundown of that as we get a little closer to the middle of May. Please show the social media slide again. You bet I will. I did it the long way, but there it is. What are the date options for the Becoming a Hawkeye programs? We have 14 of them. And when you log into the system, it's going to show you all of the available dates. They start in the middle of June on around June 11th, and they go in through the middle of July. So there's a few programs every week, and they vary each week on which day of the week they are, but there'll be a lot of programs to choose from. So you should be able to find one that works with your schedule. The Becoming a Hawkeye program is an in-person program, and it is something that's really going to set you up to be successful as you start at the University of Iowa. The SOAR program is required. The Becoming a Hawkeye program is highly encouraged. Here's a great question. My daughter hasn't decided on a major. They're undecided. And so what does she do? Well, she comes in as an open major, and we have academic advisors who are specialized in working with open majors. And so they'll still receive the same information. Open majors are in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, so she'll learn more about her college as well as the general education program and meet with an advisor that can help her explore various majors. She'll still receive information from her advisor leading up to that SOAR appointment, allowing her to really explore what question or what classes are appropriate in that first semester. So it is no problem that you have an undecided student. We have advisors that are specially trained with working with open majors. If you need to change majors, the best place to do that is through admissions. And again, you can do that on your admissions profile. If you have questions about that, you can call your admissions counselor or call the main admissions phone number. What time on March 10th does the reservation system open? In Central Time, it opens at 9 a.m. When can students sign up for student football tickets? We're waiting on more information from athletics about the day that they're going to release tickets to new students. There will be a couple of ways for you to find out about this. First of all, athletics will put it on their website as well as email students. But we will have more information about athletics tickets in the SOAR page. So part of the SOAR page in MyUI does include a new student checklist, and athletics tickets are on that checklist. So make sure your student reviews all of the SOAR page, because that information, including dates and how to get signed up for that, will all be listed in the SOAR page. What are the placement tests and what would they be like? I'll just give you a quick overview because this doesn't apply to everybody. It really is major specific, but we have placement tests in math. There are two different placement tests, and you'll determine which one to take based on whether you have experience in calculus. There is a chemistry test for our science, engineering, and other health sciences majors. There is a music placement test if you are planning on majoring in music. And there are world language placement tests. And the only reason you would need to take a world language placement test is if you are continuing in a language that you already have coursework in, or you're trying to prove proficiency in a language. And so there's more information about all of the placement tests on our website, which is newstudents.uiowa.edu. Are there any placement tests taken on site, and what does that usually entail? No, our placement tests are all online. And so again, you'll find which placement test you're going to take through the SOAR page. I'm going to say one maybe exemption from that is American Sign Language is sometimes offered in person, but that's a pretty unique one if you have experience in American Sign Language and are looking for placement to continue in that. But all the other ones would be online. Is there an app or a university calendar for events that aren't sports? You bet there are. There's both, actually. We have an app. It's the UI mobile app, and students will learn more about this at the Becoming a Hawkeye program. It's where their first week schedule for Welcome Week is going to be located, and that's the On Iowa program. And then there is also a separate main events calendar for the university. And so students can also find all sorts of events that happen on the main events calendar, but new students will also have their own On Iowa Welcome Week calendar that will display in the UI mobile app. And again, we'll talk more in detail about that at the Becoming a Hawkeye program. So this webinar is being recorded, and admissions will be putting it onto their YouTube site. So you should have access to these slides after the webinar is over, and there will be a way for you to access that. Is the information that the parents need available other than in person for out-of-state parents? Again, for out-of-state folks, if you're not able to come to campus in June and July for the Becoming a Hawkeye program, all of our presenters do participate in the Topic Tuesday webinar series. And so you can still have access to presentations that we would do on campus through our Topic Tuesday webinar series. We seem to have quite a few questions about placement tests still, and I want to reassure you that if you need to take a placement test, it will display for you in the SOAR page. The placement tests really vary depending on length, and so I don't want to try to give you too much information about that now, because all of that information will be included as part of the SOAR page. Placement testing is not new, and we don't use it to award credit. It's really just to help advisors and students make sure they get into the appropriate level of coursework for what they're ready for. And again, those placement tests are in math, in chemistry, in world languages, and in music. Again, the Topic Tuesday webinar series will begin in late May, and we'll start emailing students about that in early May. If you have a parent email on file, you will also get the email about registering for the Topic Tuesday webinar series. I have a question for the date recap slide, and I'll happily back it up here, see if I can get back to that slide. Here we go. So just a reminder of important dates beginning March 10th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So on Monday, you can start making your reservations for the SOAR program and the Becoming a Hawkeye programs at the same time. That link off the admissions profile also allows you to go back in and edit your dates. So if you select a date and then need to change it down the line, you can also do that. You can also always call our office and we can work with you to adjust dates if that's necessary. On Monday, April 28th, students will log into MyUI and be able to click on the SOAR page and start working on those pre-advising modules. It's important that they take their time to thoroughly go through the SOAR page. And so that's why it'll save their progress as they go. They don't have to do it all in one sitting. And the placement tests do add time to completing the SOAR page. And so I would encourage students to get in and start working on that. Like I said, they can always come back and continue working on it. They don't have to do it all at once. And the placement exams are all online, and so they'll be able to access those through the SOAR page. If you want more information about placement tests, you can go look on our website right now. There's lots of information about placement tests on the newstudents.uiowa.edu website. If you look at the students header at the top of the page, you'll see the drop down for placement tests, and it'll take you and you can look through all the information about math, chemistry, world language. The music information isn't up there just yet, but it will be before April 28th. Are there any deadlines for changing your major? Great question. There's not. You can change your major anytime. There is a little period of time right before your SOAR page or right before your SOAR program where we won't allow you to change your major. And that's so that you, once you have an assigned academic advisor, they're preparing to meet with you. That doesn't mean that you're locked in to the major that you have at that moment. Your advisor can help you change a major even during your SOAR appointment. So if you're unsure about your major, I just don't want you to stress about having that perfect major chosen at this point. There are a lot of opportunities to explore various majors and to change your majors. It's very common to change your major. If you're undecided and leaning towards business or health sciences or something like that, there is also an opportunity for you to think about placement tests. So if you're a business student, you're going to be required to take the math placement test. But say you're coming in as open and you're just thinking about business. As you go through the SOAR page, it's going to ask you questions that will help you determine if you need to take a placement test, even as an open major, which currently there are no required placement tests for an open major. But if you're thinking, oh, I might want to be pre-med or I might want to be pre-business, then we would want you to take placement tests. And there are opportunities for you to do that still through the SOAR page. How many appointments are there for every SOAR week? We have 9 weeks of SOAR programs, and there are hundreds of appointments every week. Our academic advising units on our campus are focused on working with new students throughout the summer, and they have pretty much every available minute of the day around for those SOAR appointments. So it is the focus, and they do a lot of work with all of our new students throughout the summer. We will not run out of advising appointments. The SOAR program is required for all new students, and we have space for everyone. Here's a great question that we get often. Does it matter when you sign up for SOAR? Do the first students get better choices at appointments? No. So the SOAR week is it's going to have all the advising appointments open. I guess I shouldn't say no. If you're the last person to sign up, you're going to get the last appointments that are available that week, but we have enough appointments for everyone that needs to be seen that week. And so we're going to work with you to make sure that you get an appointment with your academic advisor during your SOAR program. People will often ask as well, are we going to run out of classes, or what if you're attending a SOAR program later in the summer? I want to reassure you that we spend a lot of time looking at what course availability we have, how many seats we have, and we don't open all the seats all at once. And so each week they release seats for various classes to make sure that regardless of when you're attending the SOAR program, you will have access to courses and an appropriate schedule for a first semester student. Will accepting admissions to Iowa affect any other schools I have not received an acceptance from yet? If you're accepting at Iowa, you're going to have the opportunity to sign up for our orientation programs. If you're still undecided on your school choice, you can cancel your acceptance until May 1st and receive your acceptance fee back from us. So it is refundable until May 1st. If you decide after May 1st, you do forfeit the acceptance fee, but you obviously wouldn't need to attend orientation if you're not planning on attending the University of Iowa. If you need to cancel your SOAR program or you're becoming a Hawkeye Day program after you've signed up, you can call our office to do that, or you can do it on the admissions profile. Is it best to try to get the earliest date available? Is it more likely that classes are still open? It is not necessarily the best to get the earliest date available. What I would recommend you do is look at your schedule and see what works best in your schedule. Again, we do not open all of our classes up at the beginning of summer and just let them go throughout the summer. We are very strategic in how we release classes so that they are available to everybody, regardless of the SOAR week that you're coming to. Does that mean courses won't fill up? No, not necessarily. We definitely have courses that fill up throughout the SOAR programs, but more often than not, it's times that fill up and not course sections. So if you need a popular class in your first semester, you're going to have an opportunity to sign up for that. It just might need to be at a different time. Like not everybody can take the same class at 11 a.m. But there's certainly a strategy in how we release courses so that it is an equitable process for students, regardless of when they're coming to the SOAR program. Is there a max attendance for the Becoming a Hawkeye programs? We do limit the programs so that we fit into our spaces that we have students and families in, but we have plenty of programs. We have space to accommodate all new students to come to the Becoming a Hawkeye programs. Are there any practice tests to help you prepare for the placement tests? Great question. So depending on the test, yes. The chemistry test has a practice test built into it, as well as the math placement test has some practice modules with it. But it's not necessarily for every test. And there are opportunities to retake some of the tests, but not all of the tests. So what I say about placement tests is make sure that you're in the right state of mind when you start a placement test, because you do need to finish it once you've started it. Most of the tests take between 30 and 90 minutes before in order to complete it. And before you start, it will tell you on the test how long it's going to take. And what I tell students is that practicing for a placement test isn't really necessary because what it's testing is just where you are currently in your own ability. And what that means is that you're going to get into the appropriate class to whatever subject matter we're talking about. And you wouldn't want to get into a higher level chemistry class if you're not ready for it, because you're likely not going to be a successful student. And so it's important to be in a good mindset when you take your placement test, but this isn't something you necessarily want to ace, and definitely don't, you know, you definitely want to just complete it in one sitting and make sure that you are doing it so that your academic advisor can use that as a reference point in making you get and helping you get into the appropriate coursework for your ability level. Are the Topic Tuesday webinars recorded, or are they only live? They are live and recorded. And so we will do questions just like this during our Topic Tuesday webinars. And then we do post those on our YouTube site. So if you're not able to join us for the live one, you can capture the essence of the session through our recorded webinars, because we post those on our YouTube site. So you can go back through and see information if you're not able to join us live. The name of our mobile app is University of Iowa mobile app. And so when you log in or when you go to the App Store, you can just search UI mobile app. Actually, just search, let me see here, University of Iowa. And it's the first one that pops up there, and it's got the block IOWA, and that is the UI mobile app. Can parents do the date selection on March 10th, or does the student have to do it? Well, this is a great question. I would encourage you to try to do it together. The student is the one who needs to log into the admissions profile. If you are sharing that login, technically parents could do it. We always encourage parents not to have that login, and I can share some scary stories about things that parents have accidentally done on the admissions profile to their student. And so that's where I would recommend that that is done by the student and not the parent. But I do think it's important for you all to compare your schedules and make sure that you've decided on what's going to work for your family as you're doing your reservations. The health insurance section of the admissions profile should be pretty close to the top. And it should, when you click into that, it should just be a yes, no question. The new students website, our orientation services website is newstudents.uiowa.edu. And it's a great source of information about our programs, about the SOAR program, the steps in the SOAR program, about the Becoming a Hawkeye program, as well as placement tests. Are the move-in dates only from August 16th through the 18th? For new students, those are the move-in dates. It's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the week prior to classes starting, and that is on Iowa Week. That is the welcome week for new students, which is also put on by the Office of Orientation Services. If you need to move in outside of those dates, you would need to arrange that individually with housing.